Hello student, today we will start the next part of the topic reproduction in lower and higher plants, in which we will see development of seed and fruit. First we will see the seed development in dicot and monocot plants. Now seed development is initiated by fertilization. The integument of the fertilized ovule persists and get transferred into seed coat of mature seed. Sometimes seed consists of two distinct coverings as outer seed coat called testa, while inner thin membranous coat known as tegmen. The nucellus in the ovule may persist as a thin papery layer, the perisperm. It is called as perisperm. For example, black pepper and beet. In some seed, the food reserve in the endosperm are partially used up in the development of an embryo. In such seeds, the endosperm remain conspicuous and fills a greater part of the seed. Thus, the resultant seed is endospermic or albuminous seeds. For example, castor, coconut, maize, these are known as endospermic seed or albuminous seeds. Mostly, all monocotyledonous plants are endospermic seeds, while in some seeds, embryo absorb food reserve from the endosperm completely during its developmental stages. Thus, endosperm disappear in mature seed. So, the resultant seed is non-endospermic or ex-albuminous seeds. For example, pea bean, mostly all dicot plants are non-endospermic seeds. This one. Okay. The cotyledons in some non-endospermic seeds acts as a food storage and acts as the first photosynthetic organ. Micropyle persists as a small pore in seed coat to allow the entry of the water and oxygen during soaking. This is the seed development. Mostly all monocot seeds are endospermic seeds, while except castor, it is exceptional case, castor is dicot, while all dicot plants are non-endospermic seeds. Okay, now next part is fruit development. After fertilization, the zygote is formed and the ovary begins to differentiate into the fruit, and ovary wall develops into pericarp. For example, it is also known as fruit wall. Pericarp is basically three layered which get differentiated in the fleshy fruit like mango, coconut, etc. Then what is the significance of seed and fruit formation? Okay, fruit provide nourishment to the developing seeds. Fruit protect the seeds in immature condition. The seeds serve as important propagating organ of the plant. Seeds and fruits develop special devices for their dispersal and thus help in the distribution of the species. This is the significance of seed and fruit formation. Now, dormancy. What is a dormancy? Dormancy, it is a state of metabolic arrest that facilitate the survival of organism during adverse environmental condition. When environmental conditions are adverse, that time the seed and seed embryo are in dormant phase, and that condition is known as dormancy to survive. Structural and physiological adaptive mechanism for survival is called as dormancy. So dormancy is one of the significance role, or dormancy play significant role in plant life form. Now, viable seed germinate only after completion of dormancy period. When dormancy period completion, and then seeds are germinate. Okay, this is the seed dormancy. Now, next part is apomixis. In this method, formation of embryo through asexual method of reproduction without formation of gametes and acts of a fertilization. That is, gamete formation takes place without meiosis. So, in this method, the embryos are formed or formation of embryos by asexual method. This is called as apomixis. There is no meiosis and syngamy, while embryo develops into ovule and ovule develops to form seed. In apomixis, when a gametophyte organ or cell produce embryo-like structure without fertilization, it is termed as apogamy. That is, gametes are formed without fertilization or embryo-like structures without fertilization. They are known as apogamy. Similarly, when diploid sporophytic cell produces a diploid gametophyte without undergoing meiosis, is called apospory. For example, orange, mango. There are three main categories of apomixis are recurrent apomixis. In this type, the embryo sac generally rise either from an archisporial cell or from some other part of the nucellus. In diplospory, the unreduced embryo sac is derived from the diploid megaspore cell, for example, Taraxacum. In apospory, the nucellar cells gives rise to apomictic embryo sac. This is the recurrent apomixis. Here, uh, embryo sac generally rise from archisporial cell or from the other part of the nucellus in recurrent apomixis. Next is non-recurrent apomixis. In this type, megaspore mother cell undergoes usual meiotic division and a haploid embryo sac is formed. Here, the embryo arises either from the egg or parthenogenesis or from some other haploid cells of gametophyte through apogamy. Plant produced by this method are generally sterile and do not reproduce sexually. For example, Nicotiana. Next method is or next type is adventive embryony. In this type, embryos may develop from somatic nucellus or integument along with normal zygotic embryo. It is common in mango, orange, lemon, etc. It gives rise to a condition called polyembryony. Genetically identical plants can be produced effectively and rapidly by apomixis. This is the type of apomixis. Okay. Now, next bit is parthenocarpy. Then what is by parthenocarpy? This term is coined by Knoll in 1902. In this type, the fruit is developed without the process of fertilization. It occurs naturally in some varieties of pineapple, banana, and papaya, etc. In these plants, it seems that the placental tissue in the unfertilized ovary produces auxins IAA, that is indole 3 acetic acid, which is responsible for the enlargement of ovary into the fruit. The fruit resembles the normally produced fruit, but it is seedless. For example, banana, pineapple, papaya. In this case, parthenocarpy, here fruits were developed or fruit is developed without the process of fertilization. These fruits are known as parthenocarpic fruit. Generally, these are the seedless fruits. For example, grapes. Okay. Now, next part is polyembryony, or last bit of this topic is polyembryony. Then what is by polyembryony? We'll see development of more than one embryos inside the seed. This condition is described as polyembryony. It was first noticed by Leeuwenhoek in 1719 in the seeds of citrus genus. For example, lemon, citrus genus, it is the occurrence of more than one embryos in a seed, which consequently results in the emergence of multiple seedlings. The additional embryos results from the differentiation and development of various maternal and zygotic tissue associated with the ovule of the seed. Polyembryony may be true or false depending upon whether many embryos arises in the same embryo sac or in different embryo sac in the same ovule. In addentive polyembryony, an embryo develops directly from the diploid cell of nucellus and integuments as in citrus. In cleavage polyembryony, zygote proembryo sometimes divides for that is known as cleavage into many parts of the units. Each unit then develops into an embryo. Polyembryony increases the chance of survival of the new plants. Nucellar adventative polyembryony is of great significance in horticulture. This is the description of polyembryony, and here the completion of the whole topic, that is reproduction in lower and higher plants. Okay, thank you.